All right, guys, so we've had a bunch of bombshell reports come out about Jeffrey Epstein within the past month or two. We had the Epstein emails that, of course, leaked. We had some other emails that were allegedly hacked by Iran that we got, that actually may have been those emails, if we're being honest. So there's been a lot of stuff to comb through, and the guys over at DropSite are doing exactly that, and we are learning some insane things. So new bombshell report here. Murtaza Hussein says, Jeffrey Epstein assisted a campaign attacking John Mearsheimer and Stephen Walt over their 2006 work, The Israel Lobby and U.S. Foreign Policy. Epstein, who was a powerful figure at Harvard via his donations and trusteeship of the Wexner Family Foundation, reviewed multiple early drafts of an article by Alan Dershowitz attacking the article as anti-Semitic and helped circulate copies inside his powerful social network to whip up a backlash against the scholars. Jesus Christ. So now we learn that Epstein was trying to protect the honor of Israel and downplay the impact that the Israel lobby has on shaping U.S. foreign policy. So the title of the piece is, Jeffrey Epstein aided Alan Dershowitz's attack on Mearsheimer and Walt's Israel lobby. Epstein and Dershowitz collaborated on smear campaigns against Mearsheimer, Walt, and an underage assault victim, making allegations against Epstein in the same week. So yes, the exact same time that Epstein was trying to undermine people telling the truth about the impact of the Israel lobby, he was also trying to smear a 16-year-old who he allegedly did all sorts of horrible, horrible things to. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up. It is absolutely wild. So just to give you a general breakdown here, this was all in 2006. Mearsheimer and Walt released The Israel Lobby and U.S. Foreign Policy, which at the time was a paper. It eventually became a book. A lot of people have read that book. It's been an eye-opening book for a lot of people to read. It basically helps explain how we are where we are now. We've given, over $30 billion to Israel as they're doing a genocide. We're providing them cover. We're defending them at the UN. We're aiding and abetting the genocide and the ethnic cleansing. We're helping them create a greater Israel. A lot of people look at that and they go, how the fuck can we allow this to happen? This is crazy. Well, it makes perfect sense when you realize there's this massive corrupt network behind the scenes where politicians get a tremendous amount of money from the pro-Israel lobby, and the quid pro quo is, we'll give you this money for your campaign, and then you give us whatever policy we want. And so that's how you have a scenario where all these sellouts are totally cool with genocide, as long as their career is protected, as long as they get their money, as long as they're in the elite inner circle. When they wrote it, they immediately were accused of anti-Semitism, but the claims of anti-Semitism were coming from fucking Alan Dershowitz and Jeffrey Epstein, who were circulating stuff inside elite circles, inside academic circles where Jeffrey Epstein had a tremendous amount of control and sway because he was a huge donor. And it was insane, the backlash that they were experiencing. In fact, there was a $10,000 kill fee that was offered from The Atlantic. So they were like, don't run this piece on the Israel lobby. We will pay you a kill fee not to run it. Because Epstein and Dershowitz knew this thing is going to fucking take off like wildfire. And so accuse them of being anti-Semites, pay a kill fee. So Epstein reviewed drafts of Dershowitz's response to that. So Dershowitz tried to do this debunking of that piece. In fact, the title was Debunking the Newest and Oldest Jewish Conspiracy. And in that piece, Dershowitz accuses Mearsheimer and Walt of basically being neo-Nazis and Islamists at the same time. saying you're copying neo-Nazis and Islamists with your tropes about, the Jews and their money controlling everything behind the scenes. And Epstein helped circulate that as well. He helped give that to other academics, to other powerful people, to other elites. And so at the time also, Epstein was Dershowitz's client and defense attorney. They were basically a team working together very closely at the same time, again, trying to smear a 16-year-old accuser of Jeffrey Epstein. At the same time, they're trying to protect Israel's image. And so Epstein, by the way, was a major donor. He gave nearly $20 million via the Wexner Foundation between 2000 and 2006. He cultivated relationships with Harvard figures like Dershowitz and Larry Summers, who he was, of course, very close with. So he leveraged his influence in academia and policy circles. And there was reputational harm done for Mearsheimer, like Mearsheimer and Walt. Mearsheimer has sort of made a comeback, but only when online media became big. He was able to go to online media and get his word out there. But before that, he was sort of there was gatekeeping happening and he wasn't really allowed on TV, and he was just smeared as an anti-Semite. He had public speaking gigs that were canceled, all because Jeffrey Epstein and Alan Dershowitz were smearing him behind the scenes. It's absolutely insane. And of course, the irony is that the coordinated smears by Epstein and Dershowitz inadvertently validated Mearsheimer and Walt and their thesis on, Israel's influence over the U.S. These are wealthy pro-Israel figures, and they're influencing not only policy in the U.S., but also snuffing out critics. I mean, that's insane. It proves them exactly correct. Just wild stuff, man. Just wild stuff. Now, remember, this is at the same time we got a couple other gigantic stories proving Israel's ties to Jeffrey Epstein, Epstein potentially being in Mossad. We, of course, have the story where Epstein would let this Israeli spy stay at his house for weeks on end, which is fucking crazy. There's that picture that leaked, which wasn't public, but it was like Epstein's like driver or something like that, or his like housekeeper or something took a picture. Jeffrey Epstein was wearing an IDF sweatshirt. We also have Epstein and Ehud Barak, former Israeli prime minister, being real buddy-buddy, like very, very close. We have, this is probably the biggest piece of evidence, to be honest. We have reporting from DropSite based on these emails that shows that Jeffrey Epstein facilitated a deal to sell mass spying equipment from Israel to the Ivory Coast. So he's facilitating these big international deals for like surveillance equipment. You don't do that unless you work for that government. Now, the counter argument to what I'm saying is not that he's not Mossad. The counter argument to that is he was actually a freelancer and he worked for other governments as well. And there's some reason to believe that he was also in cahoots with the Russian government too. So he very well may have been like a freelance intelligence guy. And, he was keeping a massive blackmail record on elites and billionaires and celebrities and politicians and stuff like that. And so he would have been, he was in like the most powerful rooms in the world. He was in the most powerful rooms in the world, and he was wielding his influence very clearly. But this is yet further validation, further proof. Jeffrey Epstein, close ties to Mossad, close ties to Israel, doing their dirty work for them. And it appears like the conspiracy theorists on this one were correct every step of the way. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.